Long before printing presses and keyboards, history was written one careful stroke at a time. And at the heart of it all was the inkpot. This small, unassuming container held the power to shape empires, record laws, and preserve the words of poets, philosophers, and kings. In ancient times, the inkpot wasn't just a tool. It was a lifeline between the present and the future, a vessel carrying ideas across centuries. From the dusty courts of Mesopotamia to the bustling libraries of Alexandria, it sat quietly on wooden desks and stone ledges, always ready to turn blank surfaces into chronicles of human thought. Some inkpots were plain clay, used by humble clerks. Others were finely crafted in bronze, silver, or jade, belonging to royal scribes. Whether it held black soot ink, crimson dyes, or shimmering gold pigment, the inkpot was the silent witness to history's greatest moments. Today we're opening that lid to uncover the secrets of the ancient inkpot and the scribes who used it to write the story of civilization. The story of the inkpot begins thousands of years ago, in the earliest cradles of civilization. In ancient Mesopotamia, scribes used shallow stone or clay wells to hold thick black ink made from soot and gum. These were the ancestors of the portable inkpots we recognize today. In Egypt, artisans crafted elegant bronze and copper containers, often with tight-fitting lids to protect the precious ink from drying in the desert heat. Hieroglyphs carved on the sides told the names of their owners or the gods they served. Meanwhile, in ancient China, ink-holding vessels were made of carved stone or polished ceramic, paired with ink sticks that were ground and mixed with water inside the pot. These early designs focused not only on function, but also on beauty, reflecting the cultural importance of writing. Over time, as trade expanded, ideas and designs began to cross borders. Inkpots from one land would inspire craftsmen in another, blending features from multiple cultures. From rough clay to ornate gold, the inkpot's evolution mirrored humanity's growing ambition to record, share, and preserve knowledge for generations to come. In the ancient world, scribes were more than writers. They were keepers of history, law, and culture. Their day often began before sunrise, seated at a desk or low table, inkpot at their side, reed pen or brush in hand. The inkpot was always placed within easy reach, its contents carefully prepared to match the surface they were writing on, be it clay, papyrus, parchment, or silk. In royal courts, scribes recorded decrees and treaties, ensuring that the words of kings and emperors would endure. In bustling marketplaces, they wrote contracts, letters, and business records for merchants who could not write themselves. In temples, they copied sacred texts with unwavering precision, believing every stroke was an offering to the gods. Their tools were simple but vital: the inkpot, the writing instrument, and a steady supply of prepared surfaces. A skilled scribe could work for hours without pause, refilling the pen from the inkpot with practiced ease. For many scribes, the inkpot was more than a container. It was a companion through years of labor, a silent witness to the flow of ideas from mind to page. In their hands, the inkpot became a bridge between thought and permanence, turning fleeting words into lasting history. The ink inside an ancient inkpot was far from ordinary. Across different civilizations, scribes developed unique recipes, each a careful balance of color, texture, and longevity. In Egypt, black ink was made from soot, mixed with gum arabic and water, producing a smooth, dark pigment that adhered perfectly to papyrus. Red ink, reserved for headings and sacred names, came from finely ground ochre. In China, ink was created by grinding soot from pine wood with animal glue, then molding it into solid sticks. When needed, the scribe would add water in the inkpot and mix until the liquid reached just the right consistency. The Romans and Greeks often used a blend of charcoal, vinegar, and gum, sometimes adding iron salts to create an ink that darkened over time. For special manuscripts, they infused pigments from crushed plants, minerals, or even precious metals, creating inks in shades of blue, green, or shimmering gold. An inkpot's design often reflected its contents. Some had narrow openings to slow evaporation, while others had separate chambers for different colors. To the ancient scribe, the inkpot was not just a container, it was the guardian of their most precious resource, the very lifeblood of their craft. In the ancient world, An inkpot could speak volumes about its owner before a single word was written. For ordinary scribes, a simple clay or wooden vessel was enough, functional, affordable, and easy to replace. But for those in the service of kings, priests, or wealthy merchants, the inkpot was a statement of prestige. Some were cast in bronze, silver, or even gold, engraved with symbols of power, royal crests, sacred animals, or protective deities. Others were inlaid with jewels, their beauty reflecting the importance of the documents they helped create. In China, jade inkpots were treasured as symbols of wisdom and moral purity, often gifted to scholars of high rank. These ornate inkpots weren't just tools, they were badges of honor, signaling the owner's role as a guardian of knowledge. To hold one was to be recognized as part of an elite class, entrusted with the written word. Even in burial sites, finely crafted inkpots have been found placed alongside their owners, a sign that their status as a scribe or scholar was meant to be carried into the afterlife. In every culture, the inkpot held not only ink, but the weight of identity and respect. The remains of ancient inkpots tell stories that written words alone cannot. In the sands of Egypt, archaeologists uncovered a set of bronze inkpots still sealed, the ink inside hardened but intact after more than 2,000 years. In a Roman shipwreck off the coast of Italy, divers found a ceramic inkpot lodged between amphorae, a forgotten companion on a long-lost voyage. One remarkable discovery came from a scholar's tomb in China, a jade inkpot carved in the shape of a crouching tiger, its hollow body holding the remains of black pine soot ink. In Mesopotamia, clay inkwells have been found with faint fingerprints of the scribes who last used them, a human touch frozen in time. Some finds reveal unusual designs, like double-chambered inkpots that allowed writers to switch colors without changing tools. Others were miniature travel versions, crafted to be tucked into robes or belts for writing on the go. Every discovery is a window into the lives of those who shaped history, one stroke at a time. Each inkpot carries not just pigment, but a fragment of the world it once belonged to. A whisper from an age when the written word was the lifeblood of civilization. As inkpots traveled with merchants, diplomats, and scholars, they became silent ambassadors of culture. Along the Silk Road, traders carried Chinese jade inkpots westward, where they fascinated Persian artisans and inspired new designs in silver and brass. In return, Roman merchants brought finely crafted bronze and ceramic inkpots east, influencing the shapes and decorations used in far-off lands. Maritime trade carried these vessels across the Mediterranean and into Africa, where they mingled with local craftsmanship. An inkpot from one port could be repaired, modified, or even entirely remade in another, blending techniques from multiple cultures. These journeys were more than just exchanges of goods. They were exchanges of ideas. The way inkpots were shaped, the materials chosen, and even the ink recipes they contained reflected a blending of worlds. An Egyptian inkpot might bear Greek-style engravings. A Chinese one might feature motifs learned from Indian artisans. Over centuries, these shared influences created designs that were neither wholly from one place nor another, but global in the ancient sense of the word. Every inkpot that changed hands carried with it not only the means to write, but also the shared heritage of countless civilizations, united through the written word. For thousands of years, the inkpot was an essential companion to every writer. But with the arrival of new writing technologies, its role began to fade. In medieval Europe, the invention of the quill pen with built-in ink reservoirs reduced the need to dip repeatedly into a pot. Later, the 19th century brought the fountain pen, and by the mid-20th century, ballpoint pens and typewriters had replaced inkpots entirely in most parts of the world. Yet the inkpot never truly disappeared. In calligraphy studios, traditional inkpots are still used to prepare and hold rich pigments. In parts of Asia, artists continue to grind ink by hand, valuing the ritual as much as the writing itself. Today, ancient inkpots rest in museums, telling silent stories about the hands that once held them. They appear in archaeological exhibits, art galleries, and even luxury stationery shops, where replicas are crafted for collectors. Their legacy is more than the objects themselves. It is the cultural weight they carried. Every stroke dipped from an inkpot was an act of preservation, whether it recorded royal decrees, sacred scriptures, or everyday letters. The inkpot may no longer sit at every desk, but its mark on human history is permanent. It remains a symbol of our enduring desire to communicate, to remember, and to leave a record for the future. A reminder that even the smallest tools can shape the course of civilization.